So hello. This is Erica, and I'm super excited to have you here today. I'm going to do a creation meditation for you. So, ooh, how yummy is that? And one of the things that stops us when we're desiring to write a book or make a show or write a blog or post on social is all the negative pushback that we perceive will happen as a result of our creation. So if you would, for me, just imagine the negative pushback. Like one time I had a post on social and it showed some cleavage, which I don't show that often. And since I'm built really big in the bust area, there was this like, oh, you're showing too much bust. Like, that's not professional. Like, people I'd never even heard of stopped to make negative comments about my picture, right? I had another friend who wrote about her dad's miraculous healing from cancer. And I remember when she was starting to write it, and she was really scared of like what people would think, because seriously, it went from like surgery to pink healthy cells overnight. And it was a serious miracle, like just flat out, no explanation in the hospital. No one could explain it. She actually wrote a whole book about it in the long run. And I'll remember that name of that book. It was really beautiful. Hanging On to Faith was the name of it. So the negative stuff and like the positive stuff, like who you might inspire or who you might help by being in this space of creation, like they're double edges kind of the same sword, because on the negative stuff, it's like, who's going to be lit up and flash out? And on the positive, it's like, who's going to be lit up and then make more? And I know this sounds like two different things, but what if it isn't? What if all of it is just pure power? Whether or not it's, it's kind of like when a 2-year-old behaves badly and you scream at them and they're so glad because you got mad because you expressed something which gave them energy, and they were thirsty for energy, and so they acted really crazy, and then they got something, right? They got something, like they pulled something out of you, right? So could we write something really intense and only get positive, right? And that's kind of what I've done, and it's really stupid. Stupid in the nice access consciousness way of what lack of awareness was I using for the choices I was choosing, right? So I just want you to just kind of look at those oceans of negative baloney that are probably going to come out and cut your head off if you express your truth, and then look at the oceans of creative inspiration that can happen because you've just gone forward anyhow and just taken the steps anyhow, right? That's what I'm going to dare you to do right now, is just sit there with all the what they might think about me. I'm not sure. Here's another really strange tangent that just showed up, so I'm just going to say it. But one of my friends said, that I get famous really easily. And I was like, I don't even seek fame. Like, I don't even desire it. Like, I'm so happy in my little beautiful room with my beautiful 20 fruit trees in my backyard, with the trees waving in the wind. And I'm just so joyfully happy taking my jacuzzi bath and just being in my hot tub and writing my stories. Like, I don't need to be around anyone. And she's like, well, it's interesting that you don't seek it and you get it, and others seek it so hard and can't get seen. And so I can't really talk to that right now because honestly, I haven't figured that out. But I'll come back to another topic on the show about getting famous if that's something you're interested in. I do have some ideas about it, although, like I said, for me, I've always changed the chemistry of a room when I walk in, as we all do. I've always been acknowledged for my writing. Always. I've always been paid for my writing. I have a deep confidence in the area of my creations. And it just stems from knowing. It's a knowingness, just knowing it's all going to work. Like my books will be published. In fact, I wrote a poem for one of my neighbors once, and he had died. It was really sad. I wrote it. He died he was 16. He died in a drunk driving incident. And I wrote like a poem, and I turned it into, and I said to the neighbors, I said, I kind of feel like I should turn it into the newspaper, because it was like how to, preventing DUI. If you talk about how this young man lost his life in a drunk driving accident, right? And I said to the neighbors, I might turn it into the newspaper. And they said, okay. And I said, well, when I write, it gets published. So just, is that okay? And they didn't know, like I wrote, like they didn't know I had been a reporter. They didn't know I had a published background. They were my neighbors, but we didn't operate on that level. And they said, okay. And sure enough, I turned it in, and sure enough, it got published, and hopefully changed some people. And so it's just that thing where if I write it, it will get published. If I create it, it will sing. If I build it, it will be lived in. What is it that if you do this, it will do that, right? So let's come back now and focus on creation. And we're going to just release a little bit of that negative hold, that crushing of life force, negative hold. It's had closing down your it even closes down the channeling in as well as the channeling out. So it closes down both ways, because if you're not receiving information from the universe and you're not processing and getting thoughts and expressing them, then you'll get less thoughts and less thoughts, because the less you kind of run with it, the less it will run through you, and the life force gets smaller. And actually, when I built this podcast in the very beginning, it was to open up life force, because it's called energy clearing for life force. And that was the whole purpose of this podcast. So isn't that cool that you're part of that? Thank you for listening. All right. I'm going to meditate now with y'all if you want to. Don't do this if you're driving, and go ahead and just close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Pull earth energy up through the bottoms of your feet. This is a blue energy, and just pull that up through your feet and your knees and your waist, all the way up through your heart and your throat, and up through the top of your head. And go ahead and pull celestial energy from heavens up all the way into heaven, reach all the way into heaven. Pull energy down from the heavens, down through your head, your neck, your shoulders. Oh, that's good. More celestial energy, all the way down. And now just take that golden celestial energy and wrap it around you in kind of like a healing golden blanket. And just imagine like a light golden blanket all around you, healing all the places where you got shredded, all the places where you were stomped on, all the places where your ideas were torn up, all the ideas, all the times where people said you were stupid, all the times where someone didn't understand your brilliance, all those times and those places where the little baby of you, the little starter of you just got smashed down to smithereens and got told how bad you are. I'm almost crying with sorrow from all the times and ways that you've been hurt. And I can feel them in my body. I can feel everything in my body that you've been through. It's very strange. I know. That's what happens when you're tuned in to celestial. And just look at those times when you've been squished, and look at those times, and just go ahead and wrap that in God's energy. And know that this is not of you. This is of the evil. This is of the evil. This is of the devil. This is of the wrongness. This is of the universe where it isn't being itself. This is where the baby gets slapped for having a creative idea. Oh my gosh, right? I watched on the plane home the other day, I watched this Mulan and watched her get sort of like, don't be a tall poppy. Healing energy again, healing energy again, all the way around you, gold healing energy. And now just look inside of, it's kind of like inside your solar plexus, and see if you can have safety there. Is there a safe place inside you? Maybe you haven't been a very safe place for quite some time. And be okay, say okay. And I'm being shown to let you know when a brand new idea bubbles up, have caution as far as where it gets shared in the beginning when you're building it, when it's strengthening. It's kind of like you wouldn't take a brand new baby into a big hospital, walking them through all the hallways of all the sick people. You would keep your baby kind of as safe as possible and go into one little well area and not be around all the sick people. And I don't mean that sick people are wrong, but you wouldn't take someone new or hurting into an environment where there was a lot of sickness. In much the same way, a new idea requires nourishment to grow. Yeah. So just watch creation come up, bubble up within you, and allow yourself to get bubbled up creation ideas, and just allow that to come up. Allow creation to show you more of you. Yeah, that. And just know how precious you are. Just know how special you are. Yeah. And if no one's told you that lately, well, I'll tell you, because I am very grateful you're listening right now. I'm very grateful you're downloading and taking this time for you. And now just see your creation. And when you come out of this meditation, see if you can journal. Maybe some questions might be, what creation would like to be born within me today? What creation would like to be nourished this season? Good. That's beautiful. And then just kind of say hi to the creations that would like to get born from you, and just allow them to come in and float in, kind of waft through you. And anyone who is not going to be a contributive force is now welcome to leave. And this might include entities. So go back from whence you came, never to return to this reality again. Go back from whence you came, never to return to this reality again. Go back from whence you came. Entities, go back from whence you came. Discordance, go back from whence you came. Anything that's not going to contribute, go back from whence you came. Any unconscious stuff that gets bubbled up when we talk about this and gets all lit up and on fire, just go ahead and release any ties to being down or not succeeding or not having what you've been asking for. Just go ahead and release any unconscious crap. You don't even have to know what it all is. Just say goodbye. You don't need to be there anymore. I've learned my lessons. I've done my time. I'm done not creating. I'm done being stuck. I'm done not having flow come through me, as if God just intended us all to be creative beings, as if God intended us to create and write and podcast and explore and blog and travel and be exposed to new people and express love freely. And these are all things we've been given as human beings to experience on this planet. And really, it's not the right of the niggling, negative, doubting, creepy people to have the right to stop us. Yeah. Whew. Ah. Wow. Anything that brought up. Go ahead and release. Yeah. And come back to center. And come back to present. And just take a quick scan of your being. Yeah, nice. Thank you so much for listening. This is Erica Glessing. I am working on my Alpha Creatress brand. It's really fun. And I look forward to many more conversations with you in the future.